The Louisiana Attorney General will not prosecute a federal agent arrested by the St Tammany Sheriff's Office for criticizing one of their detectives in an email. Agent Jerry Rogers was taken into custody after St Tammany Sheriff's detectives discovered Rogers had raised questions about the investigation into the death of Nanette Krentel. It's one of the many unusual things detailed in my hour-long investigative special, Mystery in Ashes. Jerry Rogers is a federal agent for HUD's Inspector General. He took an interest in the mysterious circumstances around the death of a fire chief's wife 2 years ago. Nanette Krentel was found shot, her body burned in the Lacombe home she shared with her husband. Through an anonymous email, Rogers had raised concerns to the Krentel family about how the lead detective for the St Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office was handling the investigation. Sheriff Randy Smith fired another detective, Stephen Montgomery, for talking to Rogers and arrested Rogers on a criminal defamation charge for the emails. From the beginning, the St Tammany Parish District Attorney's Office has noted that the defamation law was unconstitutional as it applies to public officials, like they did in this letter to the Attorney General. And today, state prosecutors agreed, sending this letter to Rogers. Assistant Attorney General Joseph LeBeau writes, quote, "Because the alleged conduct under these specific facts involves statements aimed at a public official performing public duties, this office is precluded by law from moving forward with any criminal action." Sources close to the investigation have said the FBI's Civil Rights Division launched an investigation into Rogers' arrest. A spokesman for Sheriff Smith defended the arrest, saying, quote, "Rogers was arrested after a warrant was signed by Judge Raymond Childress in which he found there was probable cause. While we are certainly disappointed with the Attorney General's office decision not to move forward with criminal action in this case, we accept their decision as well as the process." You may remember Smith arrested Rogers, saying his comments caused the Krentel family to lose confidence in the investigation. But the Krentel family members we've spoken with say that's not the case, that the sheriff caused them to lose faith in it. And you can see their comments in our full investigative special, Mystery in Ashes, on the WWL-TV YouTube page.